Hello friends, and welcome to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and today we're going to talk about what you need to know before this week's launch of Territory Battles. Now that's right folks, we are now getting, quite possibly, and unless I'm reading this wrong, we will be getting the Territory Battle launch this Wednesday. Now, if you've looked at the forums at all, then you know that there was this update to Territory Battle Timer where they've heard some feedback and they've addressed some concerns that the forums have had, that the community has had. And one of the things that the community has had was the time frame, the range, the 12-hour per battle. That was really confusing. That was really frustrating for a lot of people, and they were concerned that they weren't going to be able to finish each phase. Now with that, they've gone ahead and made a change, and the first time that Territory Battles launches, it will actually be 24 hours per phase. So that's going to take the 6 phases lasting over 6 days, and that will give us a lot of time to actually play around with each phase to figure out what it is needed. It will still launch at 6 a.m. wherever your guild leader is based out of. So if he's based out of Denver, it'll launch at 6 a.m. Denver time. If he's based out of Stockholm, 6 a.m. Stockholm time. Now for those of you who have guilds that are international, so all across the US, all across Europe and wherever, right, then this is going to be a struggle for you. You are definitely going to have to communicate and to work together to get that, right, to be able to organize your crew in a way that will minimize the amount of effort that you're putting in and maximize your return on investment, right, your ROI, or whatever you want to call, that's, you know, business speak, but whatever you want to call the effort that you're putting in, right. But in this updated schedule, it says, due to the excitement and engagement around the community around the new feature and based on your feedback, we are going to launch the feature with 24-hour phases. They will start at 1 p.m. UTC for all players on Wednesday and end at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, so 6 days, right? Now it will go back to, it sounds like it will go back to the 6 a.m. Launch whenever it repeats, but it looks like this will be something that they will do for the beginning, this very first time. This will be to give you all time to learn the feature, get to understand its nuances better, and begin to figure out how to work together as a guild. We do plan to return to a smaller window based on feedback and data points. Once familiarity is achieved, we will be able to keep you updated on these changes, so on and so forth. So that Wednesday time to Tuesday time does make me feel like it could be this Wednesday. It just says on Wednesday, so it makes sense for it to be this Wednesday. That would be the 30th of August. That would put it at the 30th of August, which, you know, kind of an exciting time for the end of the month, unless you guys have some big plans for the end of the month. There's a section here that says playtime per phase, so it says, you know, they've heard the concerns, they've heard their frustrations, and they wanted to point out that not every piece is used in combat, right? We've talked about that. We've talked about it on the Nerf herd. We've talked about it with a few other people, and we've just talked about it in general, right? It's been in the forums and the Reddit and you know, Twitter has chatted about it. But they said they've done play tests, and they've done, and this is not from this post, but from another post. They said that they've done play tests with all kinds of guilds, right? They've used our guilds. I'm not entirely sure how they've approached that, but they've used different guilds, new guilds, old guilds, guilds made of whales, guilds that are completely free to play. And what they've noticed and what they've come down with is that each phase typically takes between 10 and 25 minutes, right? And so while in the first phase, and it's supposed to get progressively harder, phase 1 is going to be so much easier than phase 6, so keep that in mind, right? It's likely that we're going to be frustrated at the end of that 24 hours waiting for phase 2 to come along, right? But then they talked about why they scheduled the original 6 a.m. start time with a 12-hour timer, because it takes between 10 minutes to 25 minutes, and most people play somewhere in that time frame. Also, since these are meant to be just weekend events, but that's kind of why they did it, right? Which, you know, whether you agree or disagree with it, it is cool to see that they are open with the reasons why they did it, right? And that's, I think that's really cool of them. They don't have to tell us why. They could have just said, hey, because we wanted to, you know, peace out, you know, chunk the deuce, and whatever. But it is cool that they are trying to be more open and you know, forthcoming and transparent, which is not necessarily something that they've done in the past, and it is something that a lot of people get hounded on. You know, a lot of people, you know, take, you know, kind of offense to the way that they promote their stuff. I'm not super bothered by it, but I mean, teach their own. But this is their way, in my mind, of trying to address that issue, and I think that's kind of cool. I think that's kind of neat that they're willing to do that. So the rest of this video, I want to focus on what you need to know to prepare between now and then. And this is stuff that we wanted to cover on the Nerf Herd. We just didn't get enough time. Thank you, though, for all of those who joined us or who have watched the video since then. I really do appreciate it. Cubs Fan Han and Ratmaster Yoda also. We love doing it. It's a lot of fun. We, you know, get together every other week and just chat about the game. You know, for those of us who love Star Wars, for those of us who love the Galaxy of Heroes game, it's a lot of fun, right? And us YouTubers have really enjoyed doing it. So what I want to talk about, though, is there are a few things that you need to know if this does launch on Wednesday to prepare for Wednesday. Now, the first thing that you need to know is there are obviously 6 phases. So phase 1, like I said earlier, is going to be the easiest phase, and it seems like it's not really going to need specific tunes or specific characters to use, but phase 2 is when that starts, and you are going to need a 3-star HAAT Rebel Scout. And if you don't have a 3-star HAAT Rebel Scout, you do have a little bit of time to start farming him. Now, so HAAT Rebel Scout is located in the Cantina Battle Store, is also located at on the dark side in 6A. He is also located in 8B on the light side. So he is farmable. He is actually one of the more farmable Rebel characters because he's available in a few different places. And yeah, get him up, right? At least get him up to level 3-star. I mean, if you haven't done that so far, then you know you still have a little bit of time, but work on that, right? If you don't finish phase, remember, if you don't finish phase 1, if you don't single star phase 1 on any of the different territories or areas within the phase, you won't be able to move on to the next territory or area until you are able to beat it, right? So you have until Wednesday, quite possibly Thursday, if you don't beat it on Wednesday, to move on. So keep that in mind as you do that. Now, phase 3, we have a 4-star HAAT Rebel Scout. Then phase 3 you also will need is the first Leia mission, and you will need a 5-star HAAT Rebel Soldier and a 8-star Captain Han. Now Captain Han is only going to be in the Cantina battles. He is going to be on 7D on that note. Now, none of us have Captain Han yet, right? We just don't have him, right? Because he's not available. What you can do is between now and then use your crystal refreshes, save all of your bonus energy for Cantina, use your crystal refreshes between now and then, so that's 300 crystal refreshes, which gives you 360 energy per day plus whatever energy you're getting. Save that so that when time comes on, let's see if it starts on Wednesday, so when time comes on Thursday, you will be able to have farmed, quite possibly they'll unlock it on Wednesday, if not earlier, to give us time to farm Captain Han. But you will be able to farm him to 5-star, possibly. It will be a grind, and you will only be able to focus on Captain Han between now and then, unless like super RNG is with you, then you'll have him. But he is definitely one of those characters that you're going to want to have because you're going to need him later on. Now, 3-star, or you need him to 5-star, you need HAAT Rebel Soldier to 5-star as well. So farming both of those, you're going to need him, right? Right now, for this very first territory battle, it is worth putting all of your eggs in one basket, in my mind, because they're going to replay it probably at least in a month, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 2 months at the latest. But they're going to replay this event because people, I really think people want to give it a second shot. So put all your eggs in one basket. They'll do the Hoth territory battle before they introduce any other territory battles. They'll probably do it 4 or 5 times before they introduce another concept. Unless they do it weekly, then it might be a couple of months. It might not be a ton of time between this event and the next one. I mean, the Flash events were, we saw the first one with Fulcrum, and then a month later we saw it with Luke. So I mean, it could be as quick as a month that they introduce a new territory battle. But since this is a really big game mode, I doubt it. I doubt that we'll get new content for it for at least 6 months. But who knows? Who knows? We may see it. I'd love new content for it already, but I don't want to like throw that out there yet. I want to see what this is like first, then new content, right? But again, down the road, I want to get really good at this first. Phase 4 is you will need a 5-star Hoth Rebel Soldier. That's it, right? Phase 5, you will need a 6-star Hoth Rebel Scout, 6-star Commander Luke, 6-star Phoenix Squad, right? So your Phoenix Squad's not hard to get up, and you have time between now and then. Once you get 5-star Captain Han, you're good, right? Or at least you're good through Phase 5, right? You won't need him again. I mean, you can use him again, but you won't need him again until Phase 6, which will require a 7-star Han. So hopefully you have your Phoenix Squad leveled up. Hopefully you have Commander Luke. If you don't have Commander Luke, unfortunately, it's there's not a lot you can do right now because he is one of those characters that we won't see for some time. But then once we get to Phase 6, you will need a 7-star Captain Han Solo, a 7-star Rolo, and a 7-star Rogue One Rebels. Now, I do believe that I heard somewhere that you can beat Phase 6 without Rolo, but you will be able to unlock, like I said earlier, Leia in that Phase 1, or in Phase 3, sorry. And so, potentially, I don't know, we'll probably be able to get her up again. I don't know if there are other areas where we will be able to get Rolo, or other phases where we will be able to get Rolo, but it's a very unique character, and if they start throwing her shards around, then everyone gets her real quick. And now remember, all teams will have the rewards that all players contribute. So if you have 50 players beating that Rolo shard or that event, the Leia mission, then you will have 50 Leia shards, which is awesome. That's enough to unlock her, and I think get her to 2nd star. I think, I'm not 100%. I think that it is though. But if you only have 30 people, attempt, and only 20 people unlock, you'll only get 20 shards. So do what you can to unlock that, and that's why I say get Hoth Rebel Soldier and Captain Han up to 5-star as quickly as possible, because then you get to unlock Leia, and by the time the next territory battles goes around, you will be more ready to use her, and you'll be more comfortable with her because you've used her before and you've played around with her. Now the other thing, this mission, what I want to show you here is the platoon deployments, the deployment icon, and the combat missions. And I showed this in the, or I showed a GIF or an image that was created by Warrior in our Nerf Herd stream, and he did like an hour-long video of the breakdown of this, and it's really good. If you go there and watch it. But what you're going to want to do is combat missions first, then platoon missions, then deployment, right? And so what combat missions are, these are the special missions that you need specific characters for. If you have those specific characters, once you've put them in the combat mission, then they're gone for that phase. They're used, and you can't use them again. Platoon missions are a little more generic, and they are geared around your best team. So use whatever you need to for those combat missions, but be aware of which characters you're using, because you may need, if you use the wrong characters, you rush into it, you will miss out on the platoon missions, or you'll miss out on creating the best possible team for the platoon missions. And then once you are done there, that deployment is where you just sync all of the rest of your characters. So keep that in mind. each territory mission or each mission in these event is going to be a wave of 6 different teams that you'll be facing against. So make sure that you're prepared for that. Now, like I said before, you get this message across to the rest of your guild because it is important. The first thing that you need to do is your special missions. Your special missions are your combat missions. So use your best teams first. Always check if in platoons to see if a rare character is needed, right? You always want to do that. You always want to make sure that you're not using a character in one area that you're going to need in another one. Once you've done that, drop off leftovers in platoon missions, and then deploy remaining unused troops into territories. So this is really important. Communication is really important. If you guys don't have an external chat platform, you're going to need one. My guild and my group uses Discord. It's a really great platform. I really enjoy it. But there's also things like Glip or Google Hangouts or anything that you guys have access to. Most of these are free, and most of them are great tools and really do hit the needs of all of your team. You just have to be aware, and you just have to communicate. Communication is going to be very, very important in this. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is between now and Wednesday, between now and the end of the week, you're going to want to farm ships. And you're going to want to farm Rebel or light side ships. I know ships aren't a lot of people's favorite thing, but you're going to need them. And if your guild, I don't care how many whales you have, if your guild doesn't have people who have ships, then what's going to happen is you're going to lose out on some opportunities. You're going to lose out on some gear and some really cool stuff that potentially is there for you and allows people to take advantage of stuff, right? Take advantage of the materials that they're giving us. So between now and then, between now and Wednesday, between now and the end of this event, next Tuesday, quite possibly, it could be a week from now, but I do think it is this week, farm ships, farm light side ships, farm rebel ships, most importantly, because this is likely going to be needed. And those ships are likely to also, you're likely to also just build them up, right? And so again, farm your ships. Become familiar with your ships so that you're knowledgeable about this. You're knowledgeable how they work. Figure out the best combinations for them. Focus on Akbar's ship, then see how Mace Windu's ship works. I would heavily emphasize that you guys get your Akbar's capital ship as high as possible. And if you have Akbar as high as possible, it just makes sense anyways, because everything that he gets for a character, he doubles up for the ship, right? It gives him extra power. The last thing that I want to talk about is character mods. There's a new score, a new power rating that's coming out, and it's called like Galactic Power Handsomeness. I can't even remember what it was. But the most important thing is what it does is it takes all of your ships, all of your characters, all of the upgrades, all of the mods, all of the abilities, everything, and combines it and gives you one single power rating. If you have that power rating, the higher that power rating is going to be, the better your score is going to be, the better your deployments work, the better your everything just kind of meshes, right? So what you want to do is make sure that every single character in your squad has a mod on them. And so what I would do is I would start from the very top, and I would make sure that everyone has mods, right? Your main teams probably do already, right? But take the time to go through, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go line by line and figure out which mods have, which crews need the best mods, or which crews need mods. And I'll probably be making a video of that here in a little bit, probably in the next day or two, and just say this is how I'm approaching it, these are the tools that I'm using. But go through, go over to crouchingrancor.com. Their mod master list is great. It's a great tool to really help you figure out what tunes need what mods, right? then I would just give those highest tunes, I would give your highest characters the mods first, right? Give them the best mods possible that they can without, you know, taking away from someone else. Then start going down the list. Even if you don't have all your mods filled up and maxed out, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just throw them on, because every little bit counts, and every little bit will help your team be that much better. So keep that in mind. Make sure that you put them all on, and then, you know, then as you go through, yeah, adjust them, make the best teams possible, max them out. No one has that many credits to max out all the mods on every character that you have. I am 2 characters away from a completely full roster until they launch these new tunes, and then I'm, you know, back to square one, or, oh, I'm not back to square one, but then I'm back to, you know, farming again. But put those mods on all your characters. Just empty your mod database. Just put them on everyone. And I mean, if you're like me, you may be surprised at how many mods you have left over. I may not. Who knows? I may run out of mods. But do that first. Don't sell them off. It's more important. I really do think that you're going to be you'll benefit more from putting all the mods on your tunes than you would if you just sold them and leveled up your tunes. I really do. Obviously, make sure that your best tunes are maxed out. Make sure they have the best mods. But don't just get rid of the mods once they're done, right? So, what do you think? Do you think it's coming out this Wednesday? I mean, it says Wednesday. I would be shocked if it came out some other time. I wouldn't be too shocked if it came out next Wednesday, you know, a week from this Wednesday. Leave a comment in the section below. How are you preparing to do this battle? How are you preparing your guild to do this battle? How are you excited for it? I'm stoked. Leave a comment in the section below. Like this video, share us, subscribe if you haven't, and leave a comment. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and as always, stay nerdy, my friends.